Yo, and how art thou? Oh, kinfolk. Hey, man, I've watched this deal a while back, and there's this girl on there, and she's riding in a car, and somebody's videotaping her freak out, right? And she's like, I work 10 hours. All I want is Wingstop. Effing drive. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And this guy was using her freak out and was playing the drums to it. And he's like laughing her words where she's like, I ain't nothing, you know, laughing it. And he's playing the drums to it, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm like, why do people freak out? Like, what's up with Karen, right? Okay, so expectation has not been met. She expected to be a certain way, and she was not that way. And when she did not get her way, she melted down. Now, we've all been hungry and stuff like that, but like if I set my head and my mind is set that I'm going to fast today, then it's not that big a deal when I encounter being hungry. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Snickers commercial and all that. Well, my flesh, my body's expecting lunch at noon, because I ate lunch at noon for the last 40 days. Noon comes around, I don't get to eat. My flesh is rebelling from that. It is. I have triggered the whatever inside of you that makes you feel hungry, right? So if I do it different, let's say that I have a different schedule, and my lunch break at work is 10 o'clock at night, and I do that for like 40 days. 10 o'clock, and then I switch back to day shift. I'll wake up at 10 o'clock hungry. You know what I mean? So, because I've developed that in myself. It's not just my expectation, but it's my habitual act that is creating a desire in my flesh, right? So looking at that and understanding that, you know what I mean? Like, if I expected to be hungry because I'm fasting, when I encounter that, at least I know where it's coming from, so probably less likely to have a meltdown. So I call that hedging my bets. But let's say that I do this intermittent fasting, and I decide, hey, I'm going to eat one time a day, and this is a time of day where I have the opportunity to cook, properly eat, and enjoy a meal, do the dishes and everything like that, you know. So like I want to schedule like a 2-hour window in my day to do a one-day meal for like a 40-day intermittent fasting for, you know, medical and discipleship and discipline, and there's like all these other reasons to do something like that. Anyway, so if I'm, you know, medically capable of, and I set my mind to, you know what I mean? That's going to be a lot different than I got stuck at work pulling a double shift, you know, getting in the car talking about, all I want is Wingstop. You know what I mean? Which, you know, it's funny. You know what I mean? So you got to keep a sense of humor about yourself, right? And then you want to develop the pattern of habit in your life that you find prosperous. Okay, there's some old people sitting out there. They're just sitting in the yard and fold out chairs right now. It's a Thursday at, you know, 10:30 in the afternoon. So there's people decided to just sit in the sun and chill. And that's what they're doing. And they find value in that. So, you know, more power to them or whatever. But if they do that every day and then one of them don't show up, they'll be like, hey, what happened to Bob? Or whatever. You know what I mean? So if we're all kind of isolated, right? And then, you know, we got to work and all this stuff. And then we have social media draws, right? So we're getting certain... we're getting certain needs met by the media. Okay, so if we get in a pattern of watching the news freaking out, and we've done that for the last 3 years, like, oh God, what's next? You know what I mean? We turn on the news. The news is said to be dramatic because, like, it's human nature that everybody wants to go watch the fight. Everybody wants to go put the fire out. Whatever, right? So they're playing on our natural animalistic instincts and stuff like that. So they play on that. So now they can't say, probably going to rain Tuesday and ain't much going on. Because nobody's going to come back to watch that. They're going to flip to the other news channel. And it's like, there might be 4 inches of rain on Tuesday. Or whatever. I mean, just the presentation. It might be the same information, but they're going to put their spin on it. That's where they're lying. That's where they're juicing it up to juice you up or whatever, right? And that's the thing, okay? But we're supposed to be juicing each other up for Bible study. We're supposed to be juicing each other up to do good works in the earth. And we're supposed to be juicing each other up saying, this is my interpretation. You know, I see how reading this affected me in my life. In this age and stage previous, this is what I learned from reading XYZ, right? So we'll see that we don't have to spin nothing. It's actually better to not exaggerate on a regular basis, right? So that we're not lying. So we do not exaggerate information and we pass it along. You know, it's okay to be average. Most people are. That's like my definition. Most people are average. Okay? Now, if everybody's juicing it up to put their spin on it to get some kind of recognition from the crowd-sourced information turns into the news. Okay? So that's like an attack from the enemy. Okay? It's called lying. You know, do not lie. Do not bear false witness. Okay? So I learned that. I read that in the Bible, and I, developed that into my life. Now with age and stage, I don't even get tempted to tell a lie, right? So if I'm not even tempted to tell a lie, you know what I mean? And then the people around me are like that. This old man told me, he said, show me their friends and I'll show you their future. I can predict where they'll be in 2 years. Totally based off, you become like the ones you run with type of deal. You know what I mean? So with our current, and every time I make these, people just start swerving in front of me. It's so wild. The enemy hates these. Okay, so if I'm in the media space, I only watch people that I respect because they respect Jesus, right? They Bible study. They do the work. They help. They maintain a genuine family unit to the best of their ability. They maintain their property. They it's some of them. I mean, sometimes I'll see people that are up and coming and at different stages. Like one guy, like he was born premature, and he's totally a preacher. I think everybody can see it except him. And he's like struggling or whatever. And then at one point, he's on there, and this dude's in tears, and he's probably 18 or 20. Out like Southern California, right? And somebody had just talked to him or whatever about his witness and stuff, and was tearing him down about money, because somebody gave him some money, and then he used the money for the kingdom, and then showed receipts online. And then somebody, of course, they're like, oh, you're just doing it for money or whatever like that. And he's like, no, that ain't why at all. It's just like that was the opportunity and I was just a good steward. But he didn't know how to shake off the haters. And I'm like, dude, shake off the haters or whatever. In that moment was able to, juice this guy up for kingdom purposes. You see what I'm saying? Without exaggerating anything. So now, when this dude later on will look at these other people that tried to tear him down and twist and put spin, and then he looks at what I said, you know what I mean? And then with time, say it again, say something else. 2 years from now, I will have rapport with this guy and be able to be like, what's God telling you? And he'll be, defenses down and be like, well, it seems like this, it seems like that. And then I can trust that the Holy Ghost will give me a scripture to give to him so that he is fruitful for the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? So that's where your generationals come from, all right? So we're in a new age and a new stage with these devices and stuff like that. So if I can glean from the internet the goodness, right, and make a compilation of goodness and put it back out there with no exaggeration, in time, that will stand because it's true. In time, the truth always comes out, right? And in time, they might cut my head off for doing that. And when that time comes, I mean, dude, to give your life in service of the King is reasonable. It's reasonable. Jesus said I'm supposed to love y'all the way that he loved y'all. And, like, he got, crucified. So, what type of, wooden pole stank, cross thingy, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I know he did. For sure. It's been very thoroughly vetted. I don't think there's a document more vetted than the Bible. I don't think there's a document that hasn't been more vetted than the Bible. Okay, anyway, all I want is Wingstop. You've probably seen it. You can probably type in a YouTube search thingy, all I want is Wingstop, and it might pop up. It's good for a laugh. And it's good to see, like that, the expectation. Are you expecting grace? Are you doing what it takes to be worthy of a paycheck at work? Did you show up? Did you do the job per instructions? And do you expect to get a check? Do you expect to cash that check at the bank? Demanding payment on the check. And then take that money and it be good to, buy some water at the store as you travel, to buy fuel, to, keep a roof over your family's head. You see what I'm saying? How much the more should we invest the time it takes to be the hands and feet, and also to juice each other up, to be the hands and feet, good begetting good. Like whatever it is, it says if a man knows to do good and does not, for him, that particular thing is sin. So when I got the call to make this video, if I did not do this right now, to me, that would be sin. Now, I can't go over here and tell somebody else, oh, well, you didn't make a YouTube video, so you're, in sin. That would be ridiculous. So if you're going to have a personal relationship, okay, like I'm married, okay, I'm not gonna break that covenant with my wife to bring somebody else into the mix. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, you're probably thinking something sexual. I'm talking about how we do our budget. I'm talking about where we live. I'm talking about all that it is. I'm not going to go to somebody else's wife and be like, put that back. It's not in the budget. You know what I mean? Like right now, my wife, bless her heart, is going through, we turned the TV off. Okay, which not a big deal for me. Big deal for her. And she's exploring the world now. So it's like, me being in the country,
use the right lane to take the ramp to Georgia 10 Loop South.
Me being in the country is a thing, but then to not have a telephone or I want my MTV type of deal. I'm not addicted to that stuff. You know what I mean? And I really don't think she is.
Use the right lane to take the ramp to Georgia 10 Loop South, then merge onto Georgia 10 Loop South.
And if you don't have that stimulus after you've had it for 40 years, you miss it. You're like, hey, something's missing here. If I quit eating carbs to remodel the temple, your body's the temple or whatever. So, if I try to eat less carbs to be less fat with the intent of being healthy so I can live longer in the earth, and if my body's the temple of God, like, I want to maintain, right? So with that, I like being fat. Let's throw this out there. I thoroughly enjoy being fat and eating what I want to eat. That is cool with me. But it's not healthy, okay? It's not healthy. You know what I mean? A lot of times I'll see people who see a fat preacher and immediately assume this guy's doing what he's doing to make money, because all he wants to do is eat and be lazy. And then talking with the fat preacher, you'll find that this is one of the most hardworking dudes you've ever met in your life, but it's the perception of the people. So by blubber, it's not conducive to a witness. Like, I had to consider my brother's weakness and present the gospel in a way that they can take to heart. And they got to respect the source it's coming from. That source it's coming from, morbidly obese, is less than. Okay? And that's hard to deal with, but it's true. And the, what is the deal that's going on? See, the enemy just attacks this stuff. Look at that. Okay, so, look at that. It is, the camera's totally fried out. Wow, see how much the enemy does not want this stuff posted? Okay, so this is what you should expect. This is the suffering. If I don't eat carbs, I'll probably be hungry. All I want is Wingstop. All right, I'm gonna get off here. Raquel, go get him. Get her dad, son.